Why are you still awake? It's 3:30 p.m. The real question should be, why am I still in bed? It's just past 10. Severely addicted to my phone. My thoughts are too loud. Well, it's 3:30 in the afternoon. Anxious about waking up early tomorrow so I can't fall asleep. What object would be impossible to kill someone with? A snowflake. It'd melt as soon as it touched anyone, so it'd technically be a drop of water that killed them. Their own dead body. Everything is lethal if you try hard enough. Nice try, Mr. Wick. A wet noodle. Anything with mass would kill someone at the right speed. Which fictional character would you fuck if they were also interested? Elastigirl. Shit would get weird. Weird one. Captain Amelia from Treasure Planet, 2002. Mystique. 1977 Morticia Addams. Aragorn. Sterling Archer. Hospital workers of Reddit. What's the creepiest thing you've ever seen? You guys need a little levity after reading all these. Worked the as an AF medic. Eglin AFB Hospital. FT. Walton Beach. FL. Resort area. Pristine white beaches. Sport fishing. Took a body down to the morgue with another medic and shift supervisor. He had the drawer assignment and paperwork responsibility. We pulled open the drawer and there was a monstrously large sailfish that could hardly fit without. Its body curved and sail pushed down. We stood there in surprise. Procedure? No idea. The NCO said. It would be a very good idea not to remember this. I'll deal with it in the morning. Let's see. How about this drawer? Quote. Later it was rumored it belonged to one of the senior surgeons. I worked in the kitchen. So I was the lowly peon delivering food trays. Delivered to one guy who had a horrendously infected foot. Most of the toes were necrotic and black and the rest of the foot wasn't doing much better. I wouldn't be surprised if he was waiting on amputation. His dietary requirements were diabetic. So it was likely. The room smelled awful. Anyway, these rooms are small, with typically 2 beds in them. Because of the smell from his infection. The other bed is empty. I still have to squeeze by the foot of his bed. And as I'm paying attention to the tray so I don't knock it into equipment, I accidentally brush my leg against his infected foot that he has sticking out of the covers in. Hanging off the bed. His big toenail comes off onto my leg. It's just stuck to my leg. We look at each other in horror. I clear my throat. Ask my usual questions. Clear and adjust his table. Give him his tray and wish him a good day. I leave calmly. And then run to the nurse's station and ask for help getting this dude's entire necrotic toenail, with bonus flesh, off my fucking leg. The nurse who got it off soaked that portion of my pant leg in some disinfectant liquid that smelled like it could take the paint off a car. I don't know why, but seeing patients at the who have just attempted suicide by hanging, always give me a frightening sensation. I don't have a single event. But from working nights in the operating room of a level 1 trauma center, you run into many awful things, including the worst of society. But something that sticks with you is seeing a severely injured person in complete shock. Not like, wow, my arm is off, but like body shock. They're barely aware of the world around them. Eerily calm, pale, sluggish, not at all bothered by the bustling room around them. I remember one person who had a ruptured aortic aneurysm. And due to a communication breakdown we had incised before the patient was asleep. Surgeons get tunnel vision in moments like that. And the patient was like, hey, that hurts, very chill. Almost bored. It was wild. I got a fast bleep. I.e., drop everything you're doing and attend this emergency please. one night to a side room on the ward to find no patient in the bed. Was just about to leave the room and go back out to the nurse's station, where there had been a bit of a hubbub when I dashed past the first time. When something caught my eye. Looked up to see a face with wide, slightly wild, psych eyes, peering down at me from a gap in the ceiling tiles. She was a lady waiting for a bed in the psych hospital who'd clearly thought the ceiling was the best place to hide from the people trying to poison her. Honestly, can't think of another occasion that I've been quite so terrified. Worst thing was that I had to walk, back out underneath her to get help from the nurses and security to get her down. I am an ICU nurse. I had a patient who was declared brainstem dead. The family did not want him to become an organ donor, so we withdrew treatment. I switched off the ventilator, pumps etc. and extubated the patient. A few moments later the patient displayed Lazarus sign, which is a reflex that causes the patient to raise their arms in the air. I was by no means new to the role, but this really scared me as I had never even heard of it, let alone witnesses it. What video game universe could do well as a movie? BioShock would be awesome. Infamous. Dead Space could easily work. It's already pretty much just Alien with Scientology thrown in. But in reality, as long as you don't go high concept, any horror franchise would be the easiest to adapt. When you watch a horror movie, your suspension of disbelief is already in overdrive and you are more forgiving of strangeness. Plus, Isaac is a blank slate in the first game that pretty much anyone could transpose themselves onto. Control. That would be a pretty mind-bending movie. Mass Effect.
Subscribe, my brothers.